when I moved to Snowmass Village in '83, I moved up there July 1st of '83. I adapted to the area within 2 months. I had a friend that was a chef that certain celebrities hired him. How he made his living in the winter was people would come in and they would hire him as a chef. Michael Douglas, Sidney Poitier, people like that.
Sure.
And he had Jack Nicholas. His guy's name was Randy. And one night we were just walking to a bar that was called, it was like the local watering hole on Friday nights in Snowmass Village. And he showed me the hotel where Bundy first took a woman. Snowmass Village up in, see if you can find it. Bundy and Snowmass Village.
I think I just saw it on the documentary.
I forget the name of the fucking hotel.
This is the reporter? Is this the reporter? He was like, she was on the news.
I don't remember all the facts.
Yeah.
And then, when he escaped from Aspen County Jail, fucking, no offense, Lee. Lee is not a criminal. And Lee could escape from Aspen County Jail.
Okay.
Okay, and Lee's not a criminal. Lee could just walk out the door and trick
Right.
The Wilderness Inn.
The Wildwood Inn?
With the Wildwood Inn, there you go. That's where he took the chicks from. He brought it down for me. So now, I'm up in Aspen one day at the In-N-Out. The In-N-Out was a restaurant that my buddy Steve Schiavone, who still comes to my shows when I perform in Buffalo or Florida, because he's retired now. He was a cook at the time at this place. He wasn't even a cook, he was a sandwich.
What was the place called?
The In-N-Out.
It's not like In-N-Out Burger. It's
Not at all.
a restaurant.
This is 1983.
Okay. Gotcha.
Half the size of this place.
Gotcha.
3 people could stand in there at one time and order a sandwich. Everybody else had to stand outside.
Right.
And we were talking one day. We were smoking a joint in front of the place.
Yeah.
And he showed me the window where Bundy escaped from and
crazy
the path he took. So now I go back to New York. I get my problems. I start comedy and I moved to Seattle. And in Seattle, Bundy had done some damage. He did some real damage up in Seattle. And one day I'm up in Seattle and somebody goes to me, hey, like somebody who lived in the area goes, Bundy lived like 3 blocks from here for like a month with a girl. It was well known. It's like when I went to your house one time and you showed me where the Tate LaBianca murders
Yeah.
up in Glendale, was it? Was it Glendale?
No, that's up in Silver Lake.
Jesus Christ, I read that.
It's not the Tate LaBianca, I don't think. It's the other ones. It's like it's one of the murders. I don't remember which murder. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I read that book. I didn't even think it was his neighborhood.
Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter till I moved here.
That's some scary shit, dude.
That's some scary shit.
You know about Creepy Crawly?
No.
So that's what it's like. Some of our neighbors at the time, they were there.
Right. That you were telling me when I went there. Did I go to do a podcast? You were living with a different girl then. This is 7 years ago.
Yeah. Well, the neighbors said that all of a sudden they just like would notice these like fucking dirty hippies wandering around up there, and it was the Manson family. They were like scoping it out and they noticed it, they were like, oh, it's not like they're gonna blend in that area. These are it's the family, man. These guys, they've been drinking acid, they've been drinking LSD up at Spawn Ranch, saying shit like Manson could like levitate school buses and like, did you ever hear that story?
No.
Oh yeah, that's one of the stories they said. Is like I think their school bus they were in got stuck in front of some rocks and Manson levitated it and flew it over the rocks and shit. Like they were high. Was Manson levitating school buses or were they just high on acid? I mean, Occam's razor tells us it's fucking acid. But that thing where they were like, that guy wanted to kill himself while he was fucking or something. He was fucking one of the Manson girls and she shot him in the face and he came inside of her while he died or something. I mean, these were like hardcore cultists. Like the Manson family was like, it makes any other fucking cult.
How many people were in the Manson family?
I'm not sure. It's a great question.
Where did it start? Did it start right here in fucking California?
Dude, it's weird. Fucking Manson was like teetering on the brink of being a musician. He's hanging out with the Beach Boys. One of the Beach Boys stole his fucking song, That song, it's called like something. His music is pretty good, too. That's the other thing. Manson's music is not bad. It's not like, you could see how like with just like if he had just made a left turn instead of a right turn and just met the right person, we'd be talking about him the way we talk about fucking Neil Young. Sure. Dude, he was hanging out with the Beach Boys. That was one of the theories about the house, the Rosemary's, was the Beyond, no. So he killed the director of Rosemary's Baby's wife, pregnant wife.
Wife, yeah.
Right.
Peter Bundy. Who's the director? Not Peter Bundy.
I'm so sad I can't remember. It's one of my favorite movies.
Right. Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Director. Right?
Yeah. But the theory is, and forgive me for the Manson like trivia people out there if I'm fucking butchering this, but essentially the theory is they ripped him off, man. They took one of his songs, and they did. Can you Google that? Do you mind Googling this song?
No, I was just looking. There's 12 of them, so what do you want me to Google?
Google Beach Boys stole Manson song.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
I want
that
to
what set him over the top?
Well, that's that house he went to. He thought some producer was there. It was a vengeance killing or something, apparently. It was an accident to go to that house. That's one of the theories, you know. But regardless, these were some fucking... Did you find it?
Yeah, it's the Never Learn... Hold on, because I just went up to it. Yeah, his song, Cease to Exist, turned into Never Learn Not to Love.
Yeah, dude. He was chilling with the fucking Beach Boys.
I never heard that before.
So this is what I heard. Fucking you invite Manson to your party, and he comes with a swarm of these beautiful, crazy hippie girls, right? So he was a cult leader. He was already a cult leader, and he was so charismatic. So he had this like nice orbit of these beautiful Manson girls around him, and like so he was getting, he was kind of like rubbing shoulders with folks, and like he was in it for a second, and then so anyway, up in this neighborhood, like all of a sudden, like they noticed these like weird hippies doing like cartwheels naked and shit. They weren't just up there like, they weren't even trying. They weren't even pretending to not be seen. They were doing like weird shit up there, like hippie dances, making out in the grass. Some of them were naked, but they were doing something called creepy crawly, supposedly, which is like they would like break into people's houses and just go through their shit for fun. Like, look at this, man. Look at this picture of this kid, man. Crazy. Woo! Like that. And so, yeah. And then they, the murder started, right? But it's a really interesting story when you realize that Manson actually had a brush with the potential for fame. Similarly, the same thing happened with fucking Bundy, man. He was a politician. He was like getting into politics a little bit, Like you see this like...
He went to law school. He went to law school or something.
Yeah.
He was a lawyer. Something, somewhere. It's not like how... Now, see where the Manson family started. Was it in California?
I think it was California,
was
right?
it Southern California? And then he recruited a bunch of... And how big were they? I'm curious how many people he had in his fucking...
12. 11 and then him.
So he had 12 people, like the apostles. So like,
whoa.
Jesus had 12 apostles.
That's nuts.
Yeah, California in the late 60s.
I imagine it was more than 12, though. I imagine, like, it's not like people are like, they're killing people up there. Manson's crazy. It was more like, they're these crazy hippies with amazing acid up at Spawn Ranch who throw incredible parties. We should go hang out. I'm sure there was like a lot.
That's where they lived, Spawn Ranch?
That's where they were, yeah, Spawn Ranch.
Where is Spawn Ranch?
I'm not sure.
And then find out who was the director. Because I remember that her name was
Polanski.
Roman Polanski. Then he got in trouble for molesting a 16-year-old girl.
That's right.
Years later, and he's not allowed back into the country. I knew there was just a lot. They took a baby out while it was still alive, and they killed it.
You want to hear the conspiracy theory about Rosemary's Baby?
Pig on the Wall,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a creepy movie.
You know the conspiracy theory about it? You want to hear a really creepy conspiracy theory? Again, when I say this, I don't believe it necessarily. It's just like, I like conspiracy theories in the way I like mythologies. It's interesting, But one of the conspiracy theories about it is because they, were shooting this sort of like, they got a little, these days, you see these possession movies, they're embarrassing. Like, the possession of Brittany Lindsay or whatever the fuck. Why? Like 7 possession movies out there. The possession of Amanda French. And it's just like, there's this depiction of Satanism in it, or the devil or spirits, and it's just like you watching, like, that's such bullshit, man. That's not what it's like. So Rosemary's Baby supposedly was a little too, they hit the nail on the head, so to speak. They showed a little too much about like how some of the shit goes down. And because of that, a message had to get sent, which is like, guys, if you come to our party, don't put it on the screen, man. That's for your eyes only. What are you doing? Were you doing research when you came to our Black Mass? That was for your eyes only. You know? Now you're gonna fucking turn it into a movie? No. No. And then that happens. They kill, you know, because it's like, it's so fucked up. So fucked up. I mean, I don't think it's true. No, any level of it's fucked up.
Now,
Killing
how much
a
is
pregnant...
Eyes Wide Shut true? Like I heard Eddie and a bunch of people talking one night about Eyes Wide Shut, the movie with Scientology. It's a great movie. I really